Here we are. We're doing an awesome live tonight. Got two amazing guests, two phenomenal guests. But before we get to that, I have to do it for my birds. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Eagles, Eagles. I had to. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Hey, everybody.
Introducing the two awesome people here. DX from Calling All Kaiju and everybody's favorite fighter, Goji Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm a professional MMA boxer.
He's the brother.
Yeah, I seen him beat the hell out of Chuck Liddell 5 times in a row. I seen it.
Back to back.
So, DX, why don't we start with you since you're on top? Tell us where we can find you and a little bit about you.
Well, I've been on here before, and you've been with us before. Both of you have. I'm from Calling All Kaiju. Me and Justin got our podcast on Spotify. You can see us on Instagram, and you can check out our new YouTube channel on YouTube at Calling All Kaiju. Some big stuff coming. Just got the camera, so podcast is going to migrate over to that. And we're going to get into more fighting style and more long video format videos from Pacific Rim, along with some figure reviews that I just throw in there. Just go check it out. Always respond to comments, and I just love to hear from some fans. But let's get into the bigger guy, the guy below me. You know, the guy below me who has like fucking 4 times my popularity. Let's get into him.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan, a.k.a. Goji Guy or Godzilla Guy, depending on when you subscribed. I just do YouTube mostly, just Goji Guy, Gojiguy. I used to do a whole bunch of verse stuff. I still do, but I'm starting to branch out into more storytelling as well, explain videos and blah-de-da-de-da. So, yeah, just kind of dinosaur, Godzilla, cryptid, anime-related stuff is what I usually cover.
Now, before we start, Goji Guy, I think last time we talked, it was a little bit before Gfest.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about a dinosaur museum happening and that you might visit to see a Spinosaurus.
Yes, the field museum. Oh, yeah. No, I posted daily Gfest vlogs, which was a pain to edit. But, hey, when you sit in the Gfest line for 12 hours, you have plenty of time. But yeah, no, it was awesome. We were surprised it's at the entry. Like we were like, okay, we're gonna go in and look around, and it's just right there. It just kind of flashbangs you. You walk in, go through the doors, and then there's just a Spinosaurus just hanging in front of you. We saw Sue, the T-Rex. We saw.
Oh, you got to see Sue.
Oh yeah, no, she was awesome. It was sick.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
There was a little area where like you like put your hands over your ears and like feel like the vibrations because like that's what they think like T-Rex is more sound like almost like a. You pretty much like feel the roar more than hear it almost. It's really interesting. And yeah, no, it was awesome.
I might cut you off real quick. Let's talk about Sue a little bit. If people don't know, there's a whole big YouTube documentary about it. Maybe it might be like 15 minutes. I should advise everybody to check it out. Long story short, McDonald's and I forget the other company, they have to buy that Sue, the whole T-Rex, and to display it into the museum so everybody can see it. I think they paid like pretty close to $1 billion for it or somewhere around there. I know it's some stupid number.
McDonald's had a T-Rex?
Yeah, that's Sue. They bought it.
Wow.
Them and somebody else, they both own it because it went up on auction.
Do you think that's crazier than Nicolas Cage bidding Leonardo DiCaprio over a giant T-Rex skeleton?
Just very well might be, you know. See a clown dancing next to a fucking T-Rex, yeah?
I would love to see that.
But, all right, sorry about that. I just had to chime that little Sue thing in. I think that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's start and get into the cringiest moments. here in the Godzilla world.
Oh, there's
Now,
plenty to go here.
yeah, there's a lot. Now, I'll go first. I mean, you can jump anywhere. We're not going to go right down the list from 54 to -1. That would take forever. We're going to hit some topics. And for me, I think the biggest one, I'm going to go with my big boy first. I think just about the whole 92 movie, Godzilla and Mothra.
Wow.
I think just about everything in that movie is cringe, except Batra Larva. I really do love Batra Larva. Everything else,
chain connected to his wallet.
What's that?
So do you think he has a chain connected to his wallet?
Yeah, right.
Dude is yeah.
It's crazy, you know, and they even changed Godzilla's little atomic blast in that, you know, and it's
They also changed his eyes to be gold for some reason in that movie.
It's a lot of head scratchers.
I mean, most of the movie is just two props that can barely move their wings flying back and forth against Godzilla. And the whole opening with the Indiana Jones ripoff, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Want to chime in with anything?
It's not exactly like, I wouldn't say, I mean, I guess slightly cringe, but this is like one of my biggest hot takes, and everybody always just like, I'm gonna be surprised if you guys kick me from the call for this. I despise, I'm talking an unimaginable amount of, I hate this film, Godzilla versus Biollante. That is one of my least favorite films. Not one of, it is my least favorite film, not Godzilla, just in general. If World War III ever happens and I get captured and tortured, they're not getting a word out of me unless they play that. I will give them every bit of info I know. I hate that film. It is a crazy take. A lot of people love it and adore it. I'm not going to bash on the work. You know, it's a phenomenal work. I mean, you know, like the Biollante suit, a whole bunch of work went into that. You know, the visual effects for its time. It's a phenomenal film when it comes to, like, you know, the work put into it. Not going to be enjoy it though. I would rather like just sandpaper my skin off than watch that film again. I despise that film.
I'm going to
just everything about it.
I'm going to second you there. Godzilla vs. Biollante is not it.
I've argued with two people. All right.
I've argued with people so many times. The director did not want to make a Godzilla movie. He wanted to make a spy movie. So when you throw him in there with already weird ideas, the movie doesn't work out. The characters are like non-existent. Biollante is cool, but she comes out at the end for what, 2 minutes? The whole ending where she dies, I just lay it out for you guys. They fight. Godzilla shoots his atomic breath into her mouth. She starts exploding. He just turns his fat ass around, walks to the shore, and drops dead like a fucking drunk dad on a Friday night. And then it's just I don't get it. Like G14 got a whole bunch of hate from the Heisei era fans. They're like, he's not in it enough. Have you seen Godzilla? He appears in like the last 10 minutes, beats up the infant Rose, and then kills the giant, like one of the most impressive like pieces of just like puppetry. I think that's the word. In film history, one of, if not the most impressive suits and designs ever. Biollante, I will never bash on the design. Phenomenal. The amount of work they went into it is unimaginable. And they blow it up. Just gone. Can't forget the literal 1,000 piano wires it took to display that.
I think it took like 30 people, I'm pretty sure, to like make it move properly. You also got a donation, $10 donation in the chat from one of my viewers and friends, talking about the Biollante
thank
thing.
You, my man. That is the worst take I've ever heard.
Talks, go away. Your giant snake doesn't work in the water. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but you got to give it a little bit of credit just because, you know, it pierced Godzilla's hand.
Oh, wow.
So many arguments over that. Just to begin with, Ryan knows what I'm talking about when it comes to like the Godzilla like fucking power scalers.
Yeah,
the Rose penetrating his hand, comparing to his cells being able to survive like double black hole madness.
Yeah. That's why Parasite will never make sense to me. They'll be like, oh, Heisei Godzilla is like multiversal. It's like a rose penetrated his hand. Well, the rose is also multiversal. It's a flower. Oh, well, it has Godzilla DNA in it. It's still a plant. It's still a plant. Stabbed through his hand.
I don't think people realize that when the directors and stuff made the Heisei movies, they weren't thinking about all these details. Yeah, to be honest, these movies are loved and they're still fun to watch. A lot of the Heisei movies were thrown together. No offense to fans of the Heisei movies. I love them, but a lot of them were just thrown together, especially with the directors being all different. Like we just came with the Biollante. The director did not want to make a Godzilla movie, wanted to make a spy movie, and that's why you get all the spy bullshit in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The James Bond
It's a lot
stuff,
like
yeah.
Gorath. Yeah, that's a if you know what that is. I don't know the exact plot of the film, but I know it's a Toho film, and it's like I think it's about like global warming and whatnot, if I'm correct. They're trying to save their planet, and then Toho's like, you need a kaiju, and they're like, why? And they're like, you just need one, and so Maguma, the giant walrus, is just there, and he dies. He appears, roars, and dies.
That seems to be Toho's thing. They just like to throw stuff in there and see what sticks. And half the time, nothing sticks.
Sells merchandise.
Yeah, I love Maguma. He's hilarious. It's just a big walrus. Can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, he is.
Can we talk about, not aside from the Heisei era, but can we talk about a Godzilla movie that is completely filled with cringy moments that I'm sure we can have a blast talking about?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, go for it.
Godzilla Final Wars.
Oh, jeez.
That's a fun cringe, though. It's like, it goes out with a bang. It's funny. I kind of understand the hate on it a little bit, but like, I think it's funny. It's so over the top. It's like, you can just sit back and laugh at it. GXK is in the awkward spot where like it's almost there, but like it's not. GXK is kind of like it's almost like in a what's the something valley where like something like looks whatever it's called.
Uncanny.
Yeah, it's like GXK is almost at that like over the top stupid where like it's funny, but it doesn't quite get there. Final Wars is just so. It's
Goji guy. You know why you picked that, right? You know why DX picked that, right?
Final Wars.
I'm on DX. I know why you picked that one. Because the fake Godzilla got his ass beat by the real Godzilla.
That's crazy. You would never say such a thing. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. 98 beat him in the movie. I don't know what you're talking about. That was
just everybody knows.
98. No way 90. No, but God, I feel like Ryan, you got a good point when it comes to like the Power Rangers bit. But the thing is that it's hard to explain that. Both movies have it comes to like you can be funny enough where you can accept them as being dumb, but it depends on the moment. And I feel like both GXK and Final Wars have both moments that are really cringy. But the point is that I'm talking about Final Wars in correlation with it literally just being a Power Rangers movie. The second half.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah. For sure.
The villain is fine. I don't mind the villain. I don't actually find him as cringy, but it's the moments with
I thought he was awesome when I was a kid. I thought his haircut was awesome. I wanted that. But as
you wanted to fly around too like that?
Oh heck yeah. No, but yeah, little kid, me with my very flat hair, it did not work out. But I loved it. I loved Final Wars.
I think I could have pulled it off, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can have a wig. You have it easy. But yeah, no. Final Wars was fun. It's really dumb, but it's funny.
Then I want you to just think about what the guy said to Ebra, which is what the guy said to Ebra. What do you say? Sorry, I'm vegetarian, and blows the shit out of
yeah, peak writing right there. It's one Godzillion Oscars right there. Everybody's talking about -1 getting his first. Nah, it was Final Wars. They were robbed.
So here's a question then about Kaiser Ghidorah.
What about
this hot take for maybe me, depends on the person. I think Kaiser Ghidorah is one of the worst kaiju in the Godzilla franchise.
Wow, that is definitely a U for sure.
Yeah, I'm with Goji guy on this one. I absolutely loved it.
So my reason is that the suit is just everything about the kaiju is poorly designed. From the sound design is fine, I'll give it that, but the CGI bits where it transforms, it starts off good, but it slowly.
Hey, don't you dare disrespect my goat, Monster X.
No, Monster X is good. I would defend him being good. He's still Power Rangers villain, but he's much better than Kaiser Ghidorah. Kaiser Ghidorah is an awful suit, and I think has awful, like, you can't move in it because of how it is. It's so lazy when it comes to Kaiser Ghidorah that he doesn't even move throughout the film. He uses his beams to throw Godzilla around because he can't move. Because all you can do is lift him up on his hind legs, which his front legs bend backwards. Also,
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's kind of hard to have a giant suit. If they remade it in CG, though, I think it'd be a lot. I think you would enjoy a lot more.
I think that should have been a full CGI kaiju. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. If they are
in 2004,
Well, they rely on CGI a lot, so in the movie.
I mean, 2004.
I mean,
Taxonomy, real quick. He has a hot take. I honestly really, really like Super Mechagodzilla and how they portray it in the movie. I don't like people bashing its design due to its relatively stiff suit. The Garuda is awesome. I actually really love Super Mechagodzilla. I think the suit is fantastic.
I have no issue with the stiffness. It's his design is so conflicting. Like if you look at the concept art, the final suit clearly took inspiration from multiple different designs, and they kind of clash. Like there's part of his body where like there's overlaying fat, like on his legs. It's a robot. Why does he have overlaying fat? There's parts of his face where like they're very chiseled and streamlined and have like a lot of lines. There's parts of his body where it's like very cubic. Like if they would have stuck with one of them, I think it would have, in my opinion, like, it still looks very cool. With Garuda on him, it really looks cool. It really brings it all together. Without it though, there's just too much going on him, which sounds counterintuitive given, you're adding Garuda onto him, but he balances it out kind of. So.
I think there's more with other parts of that movie that are cringe than, Super Mechagodzilla. Rodan giving Godzilla some, Dragon Ball energy.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Rodan just sucked in that movie to begin with. I mean,
yeah,
kind of there.
The idea of him being like Godzilla.
I love Rodan.
The idea of him being like Godzilla Jr.'s like brother like that and like trying to protect him is fine. But like the suit, like the prop is so bad. It's so bad. It looks so bad in the movie that it's so distracting. And he's butt ugly. It's bad for Rodan.
I'm gonna say Heisei is probably one of the cringiest eras of all time. The way their movies are.
It's kind of hard because like as much as some people try and deny it, Toho at that point was very much trying to imitate like the 80s Hollywood vibe. But it's like I feel like if Toho would have stuck with their style of like where they had like the Showa era and whatnot, I feel like it would have done a lot better because it's just like they're trying to imitate a style they aren't known for. It's just kind of odd, I feel like they would have stuck with it. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Heck, making Godzilla videos is my job. I gotta be thankful for every Godzilla movie I get. But
yeah. But come on, you had the telepaths in most of the movies. Like you could have took them out and kept on going with the movie, and you wouldn't have noticed the difference.
If we're talking horrible designs, like with Mechagodzilla earlier, one of the worst. One of them I think most people agree with. One of them everybody always like wants to skin me alive for. Firstly, GMK Mothra. No. The legs, the colors, horrible. And every time I mention this anywhere, I get flamed. I despise Final Wars Gigan's design and just him as a character. Really? I think it is one of the biggest kaiju downgrades in kaiju history. He is an absolute idiot, kills himself twice. And his design, they're trying to make him too edgy. Monster X works. His works. It's like a new cool thing, and he looks really badass. Like he proves it too. Like I mean, he's throwing hands with Godzilla and just whooping him. Final Wars Gigan.
Yeah, I'm with you to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. I think Gigan looked all right, but when he had the buzzsaws, I think that was like, all right, too much. Stop.
Yeah,
stop.
It was just yeah. It's like they, asked. It's like all the adults working there asked their kids to design one. And like more spikes, make them black and red, make them look super cool. It could have an explosion, laser eye beam, even though it makes no sense. Giving us light, it's traveling forward and somehow it disperses. It all, yeah. I'm like, I just hate Final Wars.
So for Final Wars, all the fun stuff stops at you at Gigan. Everything's acceptable and fun and Power Rangers-y, but once you get to Gigan, where you stop?
Yeah. Because I think the others are done justice in a sense of like they're still like cool, right? And they're still I'm trying to get let me just go over here, right? So Ibra, right? He looks cool. Final Wars Rodan, my favorite version of Rodan. Him, Caesar, and Anguirus fighting Godzilla, they should never be Godzilla's equal, Like he's always been more powerful than all of them. That's fine. But Gigan, he's not the first kaiju to make Godzilla bleed, but everybody calls him that. It was Hedorah, but regardless, let's just go with it. The first kaiju to make Godzilla bleed. One of the first big enemies Godzilla. It made Godzilla bleed profusely. That's when the Showa era started to get more, more gritty a little bit. It's like, we can have Godzilla bleed. We can have his hand disintegrate away. They bring him back. And rather than keeping that where it's like, he's silly, but he still has, the strength to show for it. He's not some pushover. He chops off his own head in the get-go. And then, I think he chops off his arms afterwards. No, he blew up. He blew up his head and then chopped off his head.
Yeah.
They completely butcher him.
Always been an idiot, though. I feel like how they made him in Final Wars isn't as bad as you would say, because he's always been an idiot. I mean, yeah, you can disagree with the design. That's personal preference. But evolving him from, let's be honest, in the Showa era, besides his noises and fighting with Ghidorah, the only other thing he had was just spikes and his sharp spikes and being a moron. So
yeah, I think the short showed him off the best.
Yeah, Gigan Rex. That's what I'm gonna say. Because the short one's a little different because he's much more serious. But the short era one was silly, but he at least had the skills to back it up. He at least had an excuse. He was putting hands on Godzilla. He's putting hands on Anguirus. He was throwing hands. He had a good job. He reappears in Zone Fighter. They bring him back because despite him being silly, when he needs to lock in, he does. Final Wars guy again. He's all silly, ha ha ha, and my head's gone. And that's about Final Wars guy again. Go in there, roar, look cool to some, and then just dies. So the Showa at least kind of has something to back it up.
Kiryu with the donation, thank you, buddy. Honestly, I agree with the Final Wars Gigan thing. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it's just, and all the other ones, they look quite a bit like, you can very tell it's very much inspired by their Showa era designs. Because I mean, the way they decided the kaiju for that movie, if you guys didn't know, they literally just set a whole bunch of figures, Godzilla figures, on a table until they got down to a certain amount. This looks good. They put figures on the table. Yep, these together look cool. Ibra looks like a cooler version of Ibra. Rodan and Gears, can you see it? They all look very much like their Showa one. And then you look at Showa guy again. This plump. I'm not saying he had to be fat or anything in the movie, but this plump, green, colorful guy. Had just the couple spikes. His arms, his horn, and his chest. And then there's the Final Wars one. There's spikes everywhere. But anyways, enough of Final Wars guy. I can yap about him all day, but we probably shouldn't.
I will agree with you that the design is the biggest difference from the Showa era. I will give you that. But it's a lot of points. You make really good points. I agree with you. But I do want to mention, I feel like there's another hot take from me. I'm just striking today. Godzilla 2000, I think, is one of the worst Godzilla movies. Top 5.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because I think it is. The ideas are fine. The Godzilla suit I really like, and Orga is fine, but I think it has some of the worst acting, characters, and just scenes to begin with. Godzilla arriving on the shore is pretty good, and the final battle is good, but every other scene with Godzilla and Orga's spaceship thing, I hate it. It's so bad. Because
I wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say it's not good for sure. Especially coming off of the heels of Godzilla vs. Destroya right after. We don't talk about the one in between. No, I'm playing. Zilla's cool. But I feel like it's just kind of like a comparison thing. A lot of people. Yeah, I agree. It's not. I wouldn't say it's bad. I definitely wouldn't say top worst, but there are some moments just all right, I want to see the guys fight. You also got another donation from Tom.
Honestly, I think 2000 is one of the best Millennium movies there is.
I really like Megaguirus a lot. It's so stupid.
Yeah, but if you look at the 2000, it sort of reminds you of the 54 vibe. He's going there to wreck shit. Now, the only problem I have with it is Orga should never been in that movie. It should have been, you're going for the 54 vibe. Why the hell is Orga
There's
there?
a reason he was added,
No, I don't.
Yeah, it was 98, right?
You might know this, DX, since you're a big fan of this guy. Do you know what Orga's design is supposed to look like?
Zilla. It's just
Zilla.
their bastardized version.
Yeah, Orga is supposed to look like Zilla.
Really?
It's kind of Toho being F you, middle finger to,
poking fun at it.
Yeah.
So, wow. I didn't know that at all.
I like Orga's design a lot, though. I think he's a very, really unique kaiju. I like him a lot. And I like the idea of these aliens try to take in Godzilla's cells, and even like these aliens, like super futuristic, they couldn't even handle Godzilla's like regeneration and just turned it into this weird abomination. The Millennium ship was weird though. You could have gotten rid of that. The weird.
I'd like to argue if you're saying that 2000 is so much like 54, why does besides the opening scene does it feel nothing like 54? I mean,
look at the end. What's he doing at the end of 2000?
At the end of
after
2000,
he's destroying the city, just like 54. 54 has that, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna come over here and just fuck shit up. 2000 felt the same sort of vibe to me.
But besides malevolent Godzilla, his design is drastically different. The tone of the
I'm not going off the design. Because the designs, no, it's like eggs and butter, right? You can't even compare the designs. It's the feel.
I'm not trying to. I get, the feel makes sense. I'm just saying, overall in the movie, I just feel like you're taking two scenes, the end and the beginning when he comes out, but everything in the middle felt nothing like really any other Godzilla movie. It's such a weird like limbo to me because a lot of the action was fun at the end, especially at the beginning, but I feel like it's just in that point where they tried too much of the effects. And like I said, the characters are just, I bet you two could not even remember the plot of the characters in the movie. Like it was.
Oh yeah, I do. I honestly do. Because I really do like the little girl and her dad. She's the hustler, right? She's got that little hustle mentality to her, and I really did like that little aspect to her.
Yeah, we had another $10 donor from
Taxonomy. Thank you, buddy. Got another one. I think Gamera is much better kaiju in terms of having constant theme and oh wow, words are too bad for me right now, especially with children. His abilities and moves are also just cooler overall. Gamera is a beast.
Yeah, I mean there is a slight argument there. It's just kind of like, well, Gamera has less films, so there's not much variety yet. But Gamera's films are phenomenal. I always recommend this to Godzilla fans. The Heisei trilogy of Gamera, some of the best Godzilla movies. I mean, not Godzilla movies, kaiju movies in general. My favorite kaiju movie ever is Gamera Guardian of the Universe. It is the Gamera trilogy, the Heisei Gamera trilogy. I always recommend to Godzilla fans. Like, I don't care. It's like, believe me, your life will be changed once you watch them. They are phenomenal. I haven't watched the
only ones that's doing the animes right.
I haven't watched the anime yet. I plan to get on that soon though.
Oh wow, that's fire. That's fire.
Yeah. Right now, I'm starting to get my Ultraman game up. I got to finish Arc. I'm watching Ultraman Mebius as well. So I'm starting to watch some more Ultraman stuff because I plan to do some.
I'm so far behind on that. I think I'm on like season 3.
Of what?
The original Ultraman.
Oh.
I'm so far behind. What?
Oh, okay. So far behind. I thought you said not to fire. I was like, why would you keep watching up to season 3 if it's not good? Like, it's not a chore.
Do you like Guardian of the Universe better than Revenge of Iris?
Yeah. Iris is great. It's just something about good executed day fights. The final fight between Gamera and Gauss, literally in like the best kaiju fights, and I love that. I'll always be biased towards suit ones, of course. I grew up with those. The suits just have such a charm to them, and just like it's like, oh, like they actually kill Gamera, like he just straight up dies, and then it's just like lol, psych, and just takes like all the fire, just turns himself back. Like I just love it. I love it. The day fight where they're fighting is awesome. The cool like oil rig like thing going on. It's just love that film. Everything about it. The characters, they aren't a pain in the butt. I think the main like psychic girl is like a slightly, not saying Miki isn't good, but it's like in my opinion, like a better, more well-written Miki Saigusa of sort. It's just, I just love the Heisei trilogy. Not to say, the Iris isn't bad by any means. I just like the first one a lot.
I feel like the Gamera Heisei trilogy took a lot of what the Heisei movies were trying to do and like took more time into just pumping them out and actually did more story into it, because I feel like they're not the most connected, but the movies feel better connected overall than anything. The first movie is a good action-packed movie with a lot of character stuff and some really good introduction to Gamera and Gauss. The second movie takes a step back in more like apocalyptic kind of feel with the Legion
and they keep the characters consistent.
And they're the same characters. And then in the third movie, they know that the audience is obviously getting older, so they show more action, more bloody action, and the characters are more on revenge and trauma rather than just what they were beginning with. I think
the CG for the time was great too. The whole aerial fight Oh my gosh! Between Iris and Gamera, incredible. One of the best
Revenge-
fight scenes.
amazing.
Revenge of Iris has better effects of any Godzilla movie before 2014.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think the ending of Revenge of Iris, I always loved the ending because it's like humanity didn't believe in Gamera throughout that movie. And I liked how it ended with the swarm, the giant mega swarm of Gauss coming down to fight Gamera.
Gamera got
like,
that. Light work.
Yeah. It's like, will he win? Will he not
Easy
win?
sauce.
Will humans
Easy.
believe in Gamera enough that he can actually fight against the Gauss to win? And it comes back to that thing of, do we believe in forces beyond our nature to protect us? Or do we try to take them over and do it ourselves?
The amount of money I would pay for a King of the Monsters style Gamera movie, I would love an aerial fight scene between Gamera, like a super Gauss, and then hundreds of smaller Gauss, and have like the Japanese Air Force fighting with them. I've always wanted to see that in films. I want to see like thousands of like fighter jets in the air. That's the thing for me. I think that'd be an awesome sequence. But to see Gamera, like, you think of like, you know, the King of the Monsters scene where he walks into Boston, there's just ships and planes beside him. Very cool. But imagine like they're flying beside Gamera, they're barrel rolling with him, shooting down Gauss. That, oh my gosh, that'd be phenomenal. We need
Like
King of the Monsters
the
style.
Rodan scene a little bit.
Yeah, we need a King of the Monsters film, but like Gamera. Like, oh my gosh, you know, a MonsterVerse style Iris. Oh, the things I'd do. Oh my goodness, dude.
Some more we got just mentioned in the chat by King Koji. Some more movies that I think need to be talked about, and maybe some newer reboots, is Toho's Frankenstein and War of the Gargantuas.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
personally
awesome.
love War of the Gargantuas. If you want to get into that. I love that movie.
They're trying to bring it to the MonsterVerse. I can't think. O'Shea Jackson Jr., the guy who plays like the main army guy, the Ice Cube's son. He's trying to get that anime greenlit. He has a whole bunch of people like ready on it. I think right now they're still trying to convince Legendary, hey, the millions in copyright, please. But I mean, there's like art of a MonsterVerse version of Sanda and Garaya like falling into a volcano.
That'd be
Oh
awesome.
wow, really?
Yeah, I can try and pull it up and send it to you guys while we talk.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, there's a big following for those two.
Especially Frankenstein introducing one of the most influential kaiju of the Godzilla genre, which you wouldn't really imagine, which would be Baragon.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Baragon.
He's got a big following too, believe it or not.
Me, baby.
Giant
Me.
following. Only in
I
two
just
movies.
bought a finger puppet from
Only in
Thirsty Thursday. Of
Yeah,
Baragon.
only in 2 movies though. Frankenstein and GMK. Still the best kaiju in GMK.
Wasn't he
Yeah,
in
I really wish GMK would have been Baragon, and
the
Anguirus.
68 movie? Yeah, he was in the 68 movie, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for like a second.
Destroy All Monsters?
Yeah, but his scene was replaced by Gorosaurus, and he only appeared on the island for like a second. But like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that Baron. Yeah, Baron being there.
Yeah.
All right, I can't send the picture in the chat, but I'll DM it to you, EightyFour, and you can look at it.
I would love to see the original not the green one. What wasn't greenlit for GMK, Varen and Anguirus being in the movie instead of Ghidorah and Mothra.
Yeah.
Because you can easily tell by their designs. You said it earlier, Ryan, that easily Mothra and Ghidorah had ugly designs. But that's because they didn't really want to make the designs. They wanted to make Varen.
Ghidorah was okay. Like his was fine. It's a kind of a lackluster one. It's not the worst, but it's not really that good either.
Ghidorah should have never been in. That was so stupid. Ghidorah's always been his enemy, not an Earth savior.
Yeah, it's just I really wish it would have been. I get it, you know. Toe's like, oh, money, but you know, it's just like when it comes to time, though. I feel like if it would have actually been those three, that'd have been a lot better.
I think this idea, this concept, is like one of the tied ones, which I wish I would love to see, along with the original drafts to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, with the combining Mechagodzilla and Mechagodzilla being like that giant, like weird amalgamation of parts, like the goop. You guys remember that stuff?
Oh yeah, no, that was the original idea for the bad guy for it. Yeah.
I would love to see that stuff. Concept art for the Heisei era were the shit though. As much as they were thrown together, they had some amazing artists doing some concept for those movies.
Oh yeah, dude. One of the Mechagodzilla concepts is just like straight up Kiryu.
Like, it looks amazing. The bone one.
Like one of the Mechagodzilla, Heisei Mechagodzilla is just straight up Kiryu.
Isn't it the bone one?
No. Hold on, I can pull it up and I can send it to EightyFour, and if he can pull it up later, like the end of stream. But it's like, and I can DM it to you as well, DX. Hold on, give me 1 sec. It's just like legitimately, it's just Kiryu with slightly more bulk, like in his legs and whatnot. But other than that, it's just clear as day that Heisei Mechagodzilla. I mean, not Heisei, Kiryu took its inspiration from. Yep. Oh my gosh, literally the third image on Wikizilla for the concept art. Let me pull up Instagram. It is just a red Kiryu. Wow, that's so weird. It's legitimately just a red Kiryu. All right, let's send it to EightyFour. Send it to you. All right, I sent it to both of you on Instagram.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, show it up to the camera. Show it
up with your phone. Does that give you any Evangelion vibes?
Easily, yeah. This looks like Unit 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, that's like way before Eva, I'm pretty sure, right? When did Eva?
Yeah, but they made figures of it now.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I have both of them.
When did Evangelion? This was 93. When did Evangelion come out?
80s, right?
Really?
No, it was not the 80s. It had to be the late 90s. It had to be the late 90s, bro.
Oh, now you got me.
Evangelion came out in 1997, or no,
really?
October 1995.
Wow.
So it came over here probably 2000 then.
Yeah,
I'd assume so. So yeah,
when VHSs were dying out, yeah.
That concept art is yeah. Might be where they got inspiration from, maybe.
Speaking of concept art, we're already on it. We just talked about Evangelion. Shin Godzilla's concept art with some really interesting stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. I made a whole show on that. I'm like, Shin Godzilla's a woman. Like you look at the concept art and all the comments just like smash wood. I'm like, gentlemen, this is a kaiju, bro.
Sounds about right. Have you guys seen that behind the scenes concept of the VFX of Shin Godzilla using its tail to blast itself into the air like a snake? Like, it like curls around its tail. Have you seen the Wikizilla page on that?
Let me just open up Wikizilla.
Yeah, there's like a deleted V8. Like, remember at the final battle where they used drones on him to knock the buildings over? There's one where he uses his tail and he kind of slinks around like a snake, and he also uses his tail beam to lift him up into the air. I can see why they deleted it.
Shin was a film. Shin was a film. For sure.
Yes. Yeah. I wish we would have got a sequel to it. I wanted to see those Godzilla humans.
I think it's one of those movies, though, that like the cliffhanger is good that you want to see more, but it's also like, do you really want to see more? Because,
yeah.
Like,
it's just kind of like, I feel like everybody's going to have such a different idea of what it should be next.
Yeah.
That's where like, I'm almost a little concerned with the -1 sequel. I'm like, can we really follow that up? Like, I don't want the Shin Godzilla universe to turn into, some big kaiju brawl. Like, the remake of just, the original, incredible. I was brought to tears 3 times watching that film. But like, it's just gonna be weird if I just see, -1 fighting and Gears just like, oh, okay.
So you don't want to like
I mean, like, I'll take what I can get. I'm still excited, but I'm just worried. I think.
I don't think there should be a monster fight in -1 too.
Yeah.
Even though there's going to be, I don't think there should be.
-2, 0, minus whatever.
I don't want them to turn Godzilla into a good guy. I don't want to have to root for Godzilla because as much as we want to watch,
like he's an asshole. He's an asshole in the first one.
What if we go the Raids Again route though? He's still a dick in that one.
Well, the Raids Again one was because like, oh, the original one's dead. This is a new one. It's like we very much see the -1 is still very much alive, and it's very much it's clear it's just gonna be -1, obviously.
I'm worried that we're gonna get like I don't want them to pull like a team up between the main guy and -1. That should never be an option.
Oh my god! If I see Shikishima fighting alongside, I'm leaving the theater.
That's exactly what I'm trying to. That's exactly it. I don't want them to. I'm 100% sure. Like the director's idea is nothing close to this, and he has this all together where it's going to be amazing. But like of what we've seen before, I'm skeptical of another kaiju because they can pull a Raids Again kind of art, but the thing is that Godzilla fans are always going to root for Godzilla over the other kaiju. So even if he fights someone, unless you make them both equally dickheads in the moment, you're going to root for Godzilla, which you shouldn't because he's the asshole. So I could see one maybe making Anguirus like a good guy. I could see that working.
What about a pre-1? You have the Odo Island.
Godzillasaurus?
Yes.
That would be awesome. How we got the Mars? Yeah. That would be cool.
The -1 novel.
He was more scarier than -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that coming with the saliva coming down, looking at you.
Scale,
you're shitting your pants.
On an individual scale, yes, because that thing is like it knows you're right there and it will go for you. But it's like -1's like, oh well, there goes my family. I just saw them burn to a crisp.
Nuclear fallout fear that comes from -1 instead of Godzillasaurus is what takes the cake. But yeah,
they're scary in different ways. They're scary in different ways. Let's just say that.
Godzillasaurus is a much more personal kaiju because of his size. So I feel like they can definitely make like a shorter kind of horror film with people on Odo Island and also showing how he got his scars.
Yeah.
I think it would be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
I think
make it get a horror director behind it.
Oh, yeah. Make him fight Anguirus. That's how he got the scars. Make him fight like a smaller Anguirus. And then if you want to make a sequel, tie them back. We can write it right now. Let's do it. Me and you.
Yeah, right.
What would be a big, like, because the only thing I'm thinking is, like, because there's only so many routes you can go with, having him fight a new one. The only thing I can think of that would catch everybody off guard. Now, it would get a lot of Godzilla fans mad, but, like, I mean, it would take the internet by storm. If Godzilla lost, if you, like if they can somehow bring it back in a third one, but I think it'd be really interesting if, like, Godzilla for the first time actually just straight up loses. Like, he actually just, whether that means him get his shit beaten in and he runs off at the third film, or he legitimately dies. That would be insane. I think that would, because I mean, think about it. I mean, he's lost fights, right? He lost the fight in Hong Kong against Kong. He got knocked out for a brief minute. He, lost against, original Kong, but they also went back and forth. He loses against certain characters and comes back in the end of the movie and wins. But if they had a film
like Godzilla,
where Godzilla legitimately, he's died, yes. But if they had a film where he legitimately, and someone's be like, oh, Destroya, it's like, no, but they both died. If there was a film where Godzilla legitimately dies and he somehow comes back in a third one, and he got stronger and comes back, I feel like
he died in 98.
I said, okay, we already said people. There's people. I'm talking he actually loses a fight against another kaiju.
No, I get you. I could definitely, like I said, if you could definitely do a movie. I'm like, we're basing it more off of Rage Again, but you could definitely make a movie where Anguirus and the military have to team up. I could definitely see them making like an Anguirus design that makes him look friendly, but scary enough to fight Godzilla. And obviously Anguirus isn't going to win by himself, but I can see them pulling like powers with like a shell, kind of like how Singular Point did, and make the team up. And that would be awesome. But
yeah, a film where Godzilla actually loses against another kaiju, I think would be like,
I don't think they'll do that. That's their moneymaker.
Because Toho.
He finally got an Oscar.
It's against their contract though. He can't. It's kind of against their contract though.
That's for Godzilla's mainstream now, baby.
That's for the MonsterVerse. And also, that contract recently, somebody made a really good video. It's like, there's a whole bunch of misconception. Like, people are like, Toho said that it can't be a species. Toho literally never said that when it comes to MonsterVerse Godzilla. So it's just like, that's for, but this is a Toho film, fully Toho. So like, they could, do whatever the heck they want. I don't know.
You might even just get a different Godzilla. You never know.
I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how they'd have because I feel like at that point, if Godzilla lost, he'd of course would come back for a third film and win. And maybe like die. Like maybe he comes back and fights Anguirus again and then dies. But I don't know. I've always like had that idea, like a movie where Godzilla actually just loses. Like it's not something where like he has a triumphant roar at the end, like G14, or he dies alongside the kaiju. Like he legitimately just dies, nothing else, no extra plot. He just fucking dies and loses.
That's it.
I feel
like
go
back in time.
Godzilla fans would just lose their minds. It would be hilarious.
It'd be a good send off. Well, technically, 85, EightyFour, whatever you want to call that one, falling into the volcano.
Yeah, but then he comes back. It's like
but you got to think about it. That was 84, 85. Let's say 84, right? So you got 6 years, 5 years later.
Yeah, but it's weird because like all the times he's quote unquote lost, it's either been like it's a stalemate, they both die, or he, it's like it's a single fight midway through the movie, and then he comes back and like they, he beats him in the end, or he teams up with the character at the end.
Yeah, but the closest thing we have is burning.
Anyways, we're here for cringe moments. My cringe moment I mentioned before we started talking, or before we went live, is King of the Monsters. When they're flying in, they're adding all this epic stuff, the epic music, like the original Godzilla theme. Godzilla's coming about to fight Ghidorah, and then the lady goes, "For Sarazawa." Oh man, this guy stinks, like brother. Oh god, like that should have just been like just a no dialogue moment. Just been a moment like that you just feel, you're just there and you're immersed in, and then it's just for Sarazawa. Ah, brother, come on.
You didn't really need to say it.
Yeah, it's like we know he's alive because of him. So
I
You
still
actually
think
read the next one?
I mean, I still think that I still think it's good. I get it. It's a lot on top of everything else, just like the film overall. But I think it was fine. I think it added to the moment for me. But I don't get how that was the one that pushed it over to being too much. Because
it's just so random. Like,
well, no,
I'm pretty sure before she
Godzilla
said
back.
that, I think like one person said something. Let me look it up right now because I legitimately am pretty sure the line just comes out of nowhere. If I'm correct, no, there's a little bit of dialogue before it. Hold on. For Sarazawa, I spelled that, butchered that.
Doomslayer, I would crash out. Gojira dies.
That's fair.
Here it is for Sarazawa. Watching it, locked on target. New line, locked on target. And then the Argo comes in and blows all the missiles at Ghidorah and the jets and the USA, and then there's just so much going on in that scene already. It's like
King Joe Goji killing it with the facts, right? Wait, Godzilla's lost a fight, never got a rematch. Charles Barkley.
No, that's crazy. That's so true.
Wait, no. Wait, I hate to be that guy. Well, actually, they had a comic. Where Charles Barkley teaches them how to play basketball, and like burns his Jordans up, and they like live happily ever after and all that. Because Charles Barkley got like a magical coin to size change and all this other random shenanigans. So I hate to be the nerd emoji here. Well, actually, but even Charles Barkley, they left on good terms.
Well, I mean,
love
he's
the
not no
design.
Dennis
The
Rodman,
Charles
but-
Barkley Goji design, I unironically really enjoy. I think it's such a unique and funny design. It has a lot of personality to it. All the animatronic bits in it.
Yeah.
Monsterverse Creations. The Monsterverse needs to return to solo film. Yes.
I want a Kong Skull Island, but takes place in the Hollow Earth film. I want another just single Godzilla film. But that's just the issue because now like they're teaming up, and every like big issue that Godzilla's gonna face now, it's like, oh, what about Kong? Where's he? Why can't he come help? It's like, it's just
Godzilla X
taking away
Kong
from
just
either.
felt like it was, a Kong movie. Like Godzilla was just put in there just to be put in there.
I feel like it would have been a lot better if it was just a Kong film.
Yes.
Like, they'd have to rewrite the script. But like I want just a Kong film. I want just a Godzilla film. Like near the end of the MonsterVerse, like when they plan to have a send off, sure, they can come together. That would make sense. Where it's like them, it's like an Avengers of kaiju. Him, Godzilla, Kong, Methuselah, Rodan, Mothra, they all come in and battle. But when it's like, the big evil monkey and his frozen dog, yes,
Yeah.
kill off our fan favorites.
I feel like a lot of the hate when it comes to GXK, especially is directed towards Scar King. And Ryan, you can help me with this one. I feel like a lot of people expected Scar King and Shimu to be a Godzilla villain when they weren't even thinking about him being a Kong villain. Because the movie, as we say, is a Kong movie. So are the villains. Scar King.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Scar King is just your average 90s villain where he's a malevolent, like mustache twizzling guy where obviously he's not physically stronger than the hero, but he's got his shenanigans that he can beat him. Just like he uses Shimu. Shimu is always the buff henchman that people have to fight to get to the main villain. Kong fights Shimu more than there's Shimu and Godzilla fighting in the movie.
It's just like
Scar King fights Kong more than Godzilla fights Scar King, and Kong fights Shimu more than Godzilla fights Shimu.
Mothra didn't need to be in there at all. Godzilla could have been.
Yeah, I was so weirded out why Mothra didn't come to the final battle. She literally just stayed in the Hollow Earth. Like she was just like, "Hi guys, just where'd you go, Mothra? We gotta use
and the whole thing. It's like Mothra's the Iwis people. It's like the Kongs. The Kongs are the Iwis people.
Stop it! Just stop it. They need to stop it.
Yeah. I want to see team ups, but not Godzilla and Kong. Like I said,
not forced. That was forced.
I have in my mind a Godzilla versus Megalon MonsterVerse film where, and everyone always like, haha, but like the thing is, it would also explain away a lot of like the big plot holes. Firstly, that could actually give something interesting to the Iwi. Like maybe the Seatopians and Iwi have had like ancient beef, right? Megalon, he could be like somewhere in the center of the earth. Maybe like the shenanigans of Scar King and Shimo and all that has like awakened him somehow. Maybe like Shimo kept him frozen underground and like her leaving has now he's thawing out. The Hollow Earth tunnels. How the hell did those get there? These like 1,000-kilometer holes with portals. Maybe a giant burrowing kaiju like Megalon. And that would actually be able to introduce stuff like, maybe King Caesar, or maybe like, they build, because they've shown like Gypsy Danger's arm. They can like introduce Gypsy Danger and be like, oh, this is Jet Jaguar. Like have a team up that's not Kong. Like I'm fine with them teaming up near the end of the MonsterVerse. I'm fine with their GVK team up. GVK at the very end. But they don't need me teaming up every single. I want to see new kaiju that like maybe like King Caesar at first. Him and Godzilla like they actually brawl. Like him and Caesar have a rematch from Final Wars and they fight at the start of the movie. And I'm like, all right, let's calm down, go our different ways. And then they come back at the end of the movie and I'm like, all right, we don't like each other, but this guy's threatening our home. So like something like that. Like it doesn't need to be Kong every single time. It's just like there can be other kaiju Godzilla teamed up with, and same with Kong. He can team up with other kaiju as well. Like I really enjoyed him in his hawk that he had in the anime. I thought that was an awesome duo. Kong having a giant red hawk. That was sick. I thought that was, they don't need to team up with each other every single time. The two top dogs don't need to be together every time because then it's just boring. Then it's like
I think this just has to go into like the Marvel thing. As much as we don't want to talk about Marvel, when the team up started with Marvel, when they have their like single movies like Captain America and the Winter Soldier and like the later Iron Man movies and Thor movies, you really just have to just sit there and just ignore that Godzilla exists or just ignore that Kong exists just for the movie. Because if you mention them, there's no way you can have a world-ending fight without really having them appear.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel unforced because especially when it comes to like the movie GXK, if Godzilla did not appear, I feel like he would anyway. Even if the movie didn't write him into appearing, he would appear anyway. So when you write the next Monsters movie, if you want it to be solo, I agree with you, Ryan, that Megalon could work. But I feel like if you're going to do a movie like that, you need to lower the stakes. You need to lower a lot of them.
That's the thing. Every single one of them, and like, Christ, we hear about the new one. It's like the new one in GVK3. It's a world-ending threat. It's like we've heard that almost every time now. Where'd the country threats go? That's still a big threat. There's a whole country that's going to get blown off the map.
Ryan, you saw what happened when Scar King was a villain. Everybody was so hyped for Scar King, and then as soon as we see him not be stronger than Kong, did you see how much hate he got? He got more hate than any monster.
I do think that's overhated.
Ever.
But the issue is with their marketing, they made it look like he was going to be like fighting them single-handedly. He's going to fight Godzilla and Kong. That's what I theorized. I was like, I think Scar King is going to be like this, like electrical Kong. I think he's going to be like, like I made jokes like comparing him to 62 Kong with electrical powers. Like I thought it would, and then it's just like, oh yeah, he's a weak dude with a big ice dog.
It's the blue eyes, yeah. It's the blue eyes.
Yeah, it's like there needs to be like some threat that doesn't just, or just maybe just like Godzilla and Kong is like they just can't help each other. Like have Kong on one side of the earth and have Godzilla on the other. And I don't care if there's Hollow Earth portals. It's gonna take too long for him to get there.
Just shoot.
Well, they also did do the build up in the movie too. With Scar King. Godzilla banished him after a hard fought.
That's
battle
the biggest
down,
issue. They tell all the lore via cave paintings. Where are the where are the fucking flashbacks? I want to see a flashback of him beating Scar King, and it's like a remake of the King of the Monsters ending, but with the other kaiju, Mokele Membe, Methuselah, all these kaiju they just have and do nothing with. Like show CGI. Lord, it's like,
or just kill off Tiamat.
It's like people are like, oh, well, it's a CGI budget. It's like, okay, so Lord forbid they, have a 2-second long clip, but oh god, we have to have that car sponsorship in there in the middle of Gia and the mom's very, emotional moment in the middle of the fucking beach. There's a car right there, the least obvious sponsor ever.
That is so funny.
It's like, don't give me shit that they can't do it. They had a whole Hollow Earth fight, zero gravity, monkeys flying around. Ice powers, God rays, atomic beams. Don't give me the shit of, it's past their budget. They can make a 5-second long clip of Godzilla banishing Scar King in the past and then him roaring to all the other kaiju.
And I think the thing that got me the most, they even pushed that movie back. What was it, like 3 months longer?
Yeah.
Than when it was supposed to be released? Like, come on. Button your shit up.
Yeah. It's Adam Wingard, honestly. As much as I like the guy for Godzilla vs. Kong, which I'd love to discuss you guys between the two films, comparing them, but he really
King
was
Kong vs.
not the
Godzilla is
guy
the
to
best
make.
Godzilla and Kong movie.
He was really not the guy to make another MonsterVerse movie because his MonsterVerse movie was so far from any of what we had before. And it's not that he did a bad job in Godzilla vs. Kong, but it's what he went from there. He made it more silly and then made it again more silly. You can't do that 2 times in a row like that. It just
I'm gonna defend him a little bit on that one because you also got to think the GVK, that was supposed to be the last one, right? Weren't the rights going back to Toho?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty sure
until they seen the money, right?
Yeah, until they saw the box office. Or
yeah, because my problem with that is why the hell did you waste Mecha Godzilla for that?
Yeah, no, my issue, they keep introducing all the big names. Ghidorah and Mecha are both gone. His 2 most iconic villains. Yeah, they're dead. They're dead.
No. Ghidorah's not. Ghidorah can, bring himself back.
But he dies, is what I mean. Like, they
Mecha
introduced
Ghidorah?
him too soon. Like, one thing I always say, like, a middle-of-the-road film, like, in between G14 and King of the Monsters, could have been a Ghidorah film. Like, because, like, there's so many issues that are never addressed. The Muto, its dead carcass, all of its stuff in it just flowed into the water. No one mentioned it. That could have led to Ghidorah. Godzilla blew a hole from Hong Kong to the center of the earth. Nothing mentioned about it. It's like there's so many things, and they like Pacific Rim, right? Pacific Rim felt so alive because like when Otachi died, there were like black market like smugglers going to like get its body parts. The world felt alive, and like there was everybody was doing something. There's a giant like 10,000-mile hole in Hong Kong leading to the Hollow Earth. What is happening there? No one addressed it. Like, are there people like, like trying to go down there and get stuff? Is there animals coming out of it? Like, no one talks about it. There's
is it closed up? We don't know.
This brings back to what I was saying, where each movie has to overtop the last one besides going back onto it. Because each movie, more set pieces, more blowing up chunks of the fucking planet, but less going back and looking at it. Skull Island is just gone now.
Underwater.
Like you said, the giant hole to the Hollow Earth, no idea. Apex's lair, you can do a lot of things with that. Now, just give Kong the gauntlet. Like, there's so many things that you can make, and they just forget about all the kaiju from King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, and just they want to introduce new stuff to the Hollow Earth. Bring back the kaiju from King of the Monsters. Give us the ideas we originally had. This is why Monarch is such a weird limbo, because what they did is they tried that, but they did too much stuff as well. I really like Monarch, but
Legacy of Monsters?
Yeah,
that's what I could bring up. Yeah, there's like they address the only thing I feel like that got addressed is like, look, Japan has anti-Godzilla missiles set up. It's like, okay, it feels, it has like shelters. It's like, okay, that's referencing something. But it's like, I really wish they would have like, we just need a series where it's just like, they're gonna be kaiju in it, but like as much as some Godzilla fans would hate to hear this, a human-centric thing where like it's not even like exactly human, just like a world building thing where like it goes in depth and explains some of this stuff, because there's just shit everywhere now. Like,
I think they're trying for comics, and maybe I think they're trying for books too, because that's what a lot of franchises are doing now.
No, you cannot explain stuff like this in third-party merchandise that
nobody's
gonna buy.
Like, I'm fine with the comic stuff, but it's like to a random someone who isn't like a big fan, if they go see GXK and then like or GVK and go watch this one, they're not gonna know what happened in between. They're not gonna know
for sure
this stuff. Like, I saw
I don't know if you guys are Halo players. If you ever played Halo, like they did that shit with Halo 5, right? If you wanted to know what happened with Master Chief and Locke, you had to buy the comics, but then you had to buy the books for you to know what's going on. No, motherfucker, I just want to play the games and know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to say with okay. Going back to the Adam Wingard thing, I don't mean to go back, but this is on top of the lore thing. They keep creating more lore. They don't need more lore. They need to go back. And why I think Adam Wingard was not the director to go for a sequel is because he's just going to make more stuff. He should have been the guy to go back. He should have been the guy to go back and do more Warbat stuff. Do more like that big cave. I mean, it was destroyed, but the big temple that Kong had. Go back to that stuff. You can't just go, oh, yeah, like 90% of the Hollow Earth is not explored. Is it really that big? Is it that big that you haven't seen that much that's where we have to center around? Go back to like the nice jungles and the canyons. Now it just looks like a tropical island and rock valleys. Like I don't not like him. I really do like him, and I like a lot of his humor. I like what they did with Zuko. How they did the Kongs was okay, but like
I hate Zuko's size.
But
that makes no sense. Come on, let's be honest. That makes zero sense.
Well, they try to explain away. It's like, oh, it's Hollow Earth, and it's different. But
it's half Star King's kids, so that can be explained into it.
Stop it. No, no, stop.
You see, like what I'm doing. This is what they expect you to do. Give like third party and random like takes and explain that. You should explain that yourself.
Also, the issue is when they constantly have new directors. One of their biggest issues is they don't. I mean, we already addressed it, but they don't follow that story. Each director's like,
they want to like Star Wars. They want to do their own.
Yeah, like when the fans, if you would have told me in King of the Monsters, guess what happens 2 films from now? I'd be like, I don't know, maybe like Mogira comes in. It's like, actually no, a giant red fucking ape with his giant army and his ice dog. They fight Godzilla, who's now pink and gray. And Kong has a robo arm, and Mothra comes in. They fight in zero gravity, and there's this ancient lore, and they fight in Rio, and it gets turned to a popsicle and cry. I would have never guessed that ever. There's a good
Godzilla goes to sleep in the Roman Coliseum.
There's Ren Sarazawa's story was greatly just skipped over. There's
another
so much stuff that has been addressed and like made, and like yeah. Oxygen Destroyer, maybe some hints towards a Destroyer thing. The Ghidorah head, maybe something towards a Mecha Ghidorah. Nope, big ice dog. Yep, big frozen dog.
I think I don't mean to cut you off, but I think I think the MonsterVerse is what we're doing is we're as much as I don't want to mention them again is we're comparing them to Marvel. Marvel had all of this built out for them, whereas the MonsterVerse, which each film they had no idea if they were going to make another one because they don't know about the box office.
Mm-hmm.
So
license, Toe can pull it anytime.
Well, that as long as like King of the Monsters making not as much money as the other movies, and them thinking that they weren't even going to get to Godzilla versus Kong. The point of the MonsterVerse, besides 2014 being like the American reboot that we wanted, was to get to Godzilla versus Kong. They've met that. That was they had a very small plan. That was their plan. Where do they go? They don't have it planned out, so they need to either plan it out or end it. This is why I want to see how the MonsterVerse goes, and I don't want to be as negative because I know all 3 of us are going to be butt fucking cheek-to-cheek smile children when the next MonsterVerse trailer comes out. But the thing is that looking at it critically and comparing it to other franchises, it should end when their goal is complete or the main plots end. Like Godzilla vs. Kong could have been the end of Kong and Godzilla's story for a little bit.
Oh yes.
Like the MCU having Iron Man and Captain America's story end there, and a lot of the Avengers end there, and they just having side stuff. Like, of course, we don't want a million shows, but like they could have ended with Godzilla versus Kong and built up Legacy of Monsters to be a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
Like I want to know in their heads, like you're coming off -1, right? The peak of arguably one of the best Godzilla movies that are critically acclaimed, right? Critically acclaimed. There we go. And then you go to X Kong. Like, what were they thinking when they watched -1? Like, come on, guys. What?
It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, it all comes down to Legendary is their own thing, and so is Toho. There's so many different people shoving their grubby fingers into the Godzilla license. And just as there isn't as many rules, there's as many producers and writers wanting to do a certain thing. But the thing is I feel like Adam Wingard and most of the directors got to do what they wanted. Yeah. As much as we believe that they don't have the range, Gareth Edwards got to do exactly what he wanted for Godzilla 2014. Same with, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who did Kong Skull Island. If you see the interviews, he loves Kong, and he wanted a silly island movie. It's exactly what you want.
Hot take, that was better than 2014.
That's crazy.
And I respect him also. Like, they were like, oh, we're going to make sure to have Godzilla, like, mention the stars. Like, no! This is to be a Kong film.
Yes.
That's like we brought up at the end. Like, they need to just have their own moments. They like I'm a little scared for MonsterVerse. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
And it's like Adam Wingard's a little kid, you know, that finally got into Toho and was like, oh, I can have this monster. Let's throw them all in. Let's do it. Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't understand. It's so weird because when GXK first came out, we all loved the movie, and now looking back at it, it's just such a weird like limbo for where we like it. Because
who's we?
Okay. Oh,
I was okay with it. Like, I was like, this is. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. But it's just, as one of my fans described it, it is, what is it? I think it's like overwhelmingly average.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of exists. I like, the only way I can describe it is
probably
hollow.
a strong word for it. Average is probably a strong word for it, I would say. My opinion.
It's just, it doesn't add much, and it's not to say every film needs to add something because it's just gonna be overwhelming. But like, it just kind of happened. It's just like, okay, now what? Like, at least at the end of GVK, it's like, okay, well, now we know, like, you know, they're cool with each other. They can go their separate ways. This was just like, okay, they beat the big monster. What now?
It's a weird
sleeping in the Coliseum.
It's a weird ending because the movie introduced so much stuff, but it also really didn't conclude to anything. Godzilla's evolved in pink. Kong is with a lot of apes and with Zuko. But besides those two big things, when it comes to characters, Bernie's exactly the same. Trapper's just another character.
Trapper, oh my God. Trapper's a ripoff of Star-Lord. 100% a ripoff.
Never heard that before. I
haven't either.
No, think about this, right? Just follow me real quick. Driving a ship, listening to the 80s music, you know, trying to take Star-Lord and take his personality and switch it with Trapper. Tell me you don't see the same being.
Sort of, in certain aspects, yeah.
I do get that. I don't really see the music thing in the ship. Yeah. It's what a weird universe, man.
And it's all 80s music too. Same thing Star-Lord liked.
I keep forgetting.
I like to imagine
spaceships exist in the Godzilla universe now, like weird ships like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to be the ships. It's his personality.
Yeah.
It was Star-Lord to a T.
Sorry, Ryan, what were you gonna say?
I like to imagine the reaction. I like to imagine there's at least one Godzilla fan who watched G14, rocket his head. He went into a coma for 10 years. He woke up. He was like, "Oh, sick! Let me go watch this." And the new Godzilla film is, you know, like going from, if you look at just the sheer difference, because like that's the issue when you have multiple different directors, or like when they all at least have like free range. You have G14, grounded as hell, right? One of the most realistic Godzilla films ever. It's dark, it's gritty, you know, like serious, not over the top characters. Then you got GXK. Godzilla's killing every kaiju he sees. He's sucking in the radiation of Antarctica. Kong is trying to, you know, has a mecha arm, has lightning powers on it. These like once. Thank God we have our anti-frostbite, you know, juice over here that's gonna, you know, anti-frostbite you, Kong. Thank God it's only 80 feet away inside of the Hollow Earth, because, you know, Lord forbid. In every other universe, Kong just fucking died. It's just like it's just so over the top. I really wish it would have stayed. Like, if it would have stayed. Now, this isn't to say a film series just stay the exact style, because then it's gonna die. That's how it dies. It by all means needs to fluctuate. But how drastically and how quickly it's doing that is like concerning. Like, I think at this point now, the 5th film in, it should start getting to the outerness of like King of the Monsters, not GXK. Like, you know, G14, pretty solid. You know, like it's like not pretty solid. You know what I mean? It's like it's very grounded. Kong gets a little bit more out there, but still very grounded. And then it's like, okay, King of the Monsters, like, okay, now we're starting to get there. And then it's like, yeah, Hollow Earth, flying bats that shoot smoke out of their wings, giant frost puppy that, you know, froze over Greenland and the world, by the way. It's just, they're just adding, and I hate a lot of the lore, just, Godzilla's ancient rival. Yeah, we had this, it pretty much, it's just like ironic. It's just like, as if it's layers of graffiti on a building. Oh, Ghidorah and Godzilla cave paintings. I mean, let me chisel that off. Oh, Godzilla and Scar King cave paintings. Let me just chisel that off. I'm willing to bet like $1,000 the next film is going to mention some goddamn cave paintings and Godzilla's ancient foe. They had a...
No, it's going to be in a video game that they're going to mention that.
Sure. Yeah, something. It's just going to be something.
The Fortnite cave painting. We didn't see it yet, but there's somewhere in one of the tunnels.
Somewhere in the files. Somewhere in the files. The Fortnite, yeah.
I feel like
Fortnite
the
Galactus will be in the next film.
I feel like the MonsterVerse is just a big thing. Is Godzilla's characterization changing over the course of the films? Like, he's never as much of an interesting character as Kong is, but like he never was supposed to be. Whereas he's a character now. Kong, of course, was a character over the films. Godzilla started as a force of nature. Into King of the Monsters, they turned him into like a god-like being, like a deity. And Godzilla versus Kong, he was just a pissed off like lizard, just trying to kill everything. And then in GXK, he's just more into the character of just being so. He's like Kratos. He's like an angry Kratos. That's why they compare him to Kratos.
Which doesn't make sense because correct me if I'm wrong, DX. I know you read them. Didn't Godzilla say Tiamat from the poachers? Just
no,
not Kika. That was Kika.
That was the octopus.
But still, you see the point. He went from a savior of other monsters to keep the balance to, all right, let's kill this motherfucker so I can
Scylla's made a little sense because in the comic it gives some backstory. Like Scylla's job was to keep the ice caps cold and started just melting them, and she's never liked Godzilla. She started taking a whole bunch of nuclear bombs. So Godzilla had a reason. Tiamat is like, fuck you for no reason. I'm gonna kill you now. And from like a lore standpoint, everyone like Tiamat at least had a reason to fight back because of survivor instinct. Like Tiamat has a kid, so Godzilla has now Batman this poor little child, Lehamu. It's like like he's pulling up to their house, and people call Godzilla the good guy. He's pulling up to a single mother and her child at their home, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna blow your house up. And then when the mom's like, hey, stop, he's like, fight me, bitch. He's like, all right, I will. So like, Tiamat's just trying to defend her house and her child, and just gets blown to shit. And everyone's like, "No, Godzilla's the good guy." He
sees that child. He says, "Go sit in the corner."
Yeah, and it's like, and he didn't even use the evolve power that much. He used like 3 evolve.
Yeah, I was so stupid.
It's like he could have.
What was the point of it?
Without evolving, like his energized blue cracking, that should have been fine. Why do you have to kill Tiamat? So now it's just an orphaned Lehamu just out and just swimming around.
You know why? Because you want to go to fucking Walmart and you want to pick up a 1999 Playmates Godzilla figure where he's pink. That's why. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and don't forget the Tiamat figure as well. Of course, we need the Tiamat figure. I wouldn't be surprised if Playmates released a like lore accurate one. It's like build it yourself, and it's just Tiamat just cut up and like 30 pieces. It's like a Lego piece.
Sushi served raw just for you.
Yeah. They partnered with Lego finally, and it's just called Tiamat. And there's not a picture of the finished product. It's just a picture of the Lego pieces themselves. Because like, yep, there she is.
I think that I always love to just think that like every conversation and discussion I'm usually in, it always relates back to the MonsterVerse. But I feel like it's because the only franchise that doesn't have a definitive ending. We have no idea where it's going. And that's the problem. That's what
like we brought up earlier with King of the Monsters. We have no idea what's gonna happen in the next one. We could just spitball. Okay. I think there's gonna be a giant horse kaiju with 80 horns covering its body that spits frozen fire. No. Green fire. And has nature abilities at the same time. And like he's gonna fight Godzilla, and he's gonna like turn Godzilla's feet into bark and like get him stuck to the ground. And Godzilla's gonna have to like blow off his own leg and then return it into fire like Gamera and Iris, and then like kick the horse in the nuts with his fire atomic leg.
Ryan, careful! Don't say in this. Some legendary executive might hear you.
They're gonna get me. They're gonna get me. Oh man!
They might make this Angriest concept art with those 80 horns and green fire.
Yeah,
and then you find a horse in the Monarch TV series.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. No, they just add the most random stuff in the TV series too. It's like, yes, the Bramble Boar. We need
the Ion Dragon.
Building. I thought
let's have the Ion Dragon, this little thing, go after Godzilla.
I thought that was kind of neat because
I love his mentality. He will fight anyone and does not care. If he saw a fight between like Destroya, Void Ghidorah, and like Mothra Leo, Ion Dragon would be like, hey, fuck you. And he'd die immediately, but I love Ion Dragon.
He threw up on him. He threw up. Right. That was the thing. I haven't rewatched it in a little bit.
This just goes back to our argument. The new villains don't always have to be a world-ending threat.
Yeah, Ion was great.
Ion Dragon had a more impression on me than Shimu did.
Yes.
And he did impress me too.
No. I'm wrong with I'm going against you on this one, DX. Shimu had a big impression on me as a little bitch dog. The thing that brought the Ice Age is a little bitch.
What I thought was interesting is like you kind of expect Shima to be a certain strength level given, her size and all that. My mind was blown when Ion Dragon took a atomic blast to the face and was still like, hey, fuck you. Like, just still holding his middle finger up at Godzilla. Like, he did not care.
The power scales are going crazy.
Headcanon, he is still alive. He's missing an arm, but he is crawling. He is vigorously crawling with that one arm. I'm going to kick your ass, Goji. He's crawling his way back all the way down to Hollow Earth.
Confirmed Ion Dragon is stronger than Kong right now because he took an atomic breath. No, this is going to be the next movie. Ion Dragon's coming back with a mecha arm, a
Mecha Ion.
Mecha Ion Dragon. He's getting his revenge because he handicapped him, and he's going to kill Zuko to make Kong sad. He's going to go on his Batman arc, and he's going to find a Kong mate, and they're going to be Wonder Woman and Batman against the doomsday of this Godzilla universe.
He's going to turn the Mecha Ion courtesy of the new
His mentality is one of my favorite of any kaiju character ever. Like, everybody watched that. It's like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do to Godzilla? And I imagine even Ion Dragon's thinking that. Like, he had so many chances to stop. Like, he got thrown to the ground, he got thrown into a mountain, beamed in the face, and still he's like, nah, I got this. And even when he's being thrown, he's yelling at Godzilla. Not in pain, no, just like, hey, I'll be back. So don't you think you're done with me? I will be back. I'm gonna come get you. Like, I love him. I love Ion Dragon. He's one of the best Monsters characters. I love him. He's so stupid.
Side kaiju. And I'm glad, I will say this, a lot of people are going to disagree. I'm glad they changed Rodan into Ion Dragon.
Yeah.
Because originally it was going to be Rodan. And that's perfectly fine because we do need some more Rodan screen time. I will say that.
Oh, wow. How horrible. That would have been a little quick battle. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You can't, because so many people love Rodan, you can't bring him back just for a quick fight.
Also, it would make no sense in lore because that takes place before 2019. So
yeah, he'd have to be in the volcano. But this just goes back again. Bring back the kaiju that you already introduced. Stop adding new kaiju. I don't care about the parrot frog. I don't care about the drowned viper. I don't care about...
Don't you dare diss the strongest kaiju parrot frog.
Exactly. I don't care about the yellow birds in the Hollow Earth. You can introduce new kaiju, but you need to bring them back. I would have loved to see Warbats do more stuff in
the
GX10.
fact that the Verticines have more screen time than Tiamat.
Yes,
insane.
Bro.
The electrical birds have more.
Or if we can find out about that bridged monster.
Yeah,
something
like that.
Crossing over.
I feel like Adam Wingard was, like you said, literally just a little kid. Like, okay, we're gonna have Godzilla turn pink. We're gonna have Kong have a beast go.
My theory is that he was just in a hot box and shrooms. Like, he was just high as hell and was on like every shroom he could buy within the United States. And like, all right, guys, sit down. Like, the fact that he had to bring this to Toho and they're like, yeah, that works. But like, oh, Zilla? It's like, what happened to Toho? What happened to you guys and being like, no, that's too out there? It's like, yes, Pink Godzilla. He's going to have a Super Sigma beam and he's gonna like blow up shit. It's just, I hope Ion comes back. I love the Ion Dragon. He's hilarious. He's the Megalon of the Monsterverse, pretty much.
Ryan, Toho gets so much money from the Monsterverse movies. They do not give a shit if we turn him into a Barbie. They do not care if we turn him into a Barbie doll. They want that paycheck so they can go into -1 and give them like this much of it. They get this much from GXK's budget and like the box office to put this much into -1, and then they just throw the rest into merchandise that we're never going to buy.
Yeah, but, I goes with it. The pink evolved Godzilla, like Goji guy said. It's. What the hell was the reason besides merchandise, I guess, right?
Merchandise sales, as when we complain about this, they'll never be as bad as Ultraman stuff because Ultraman is literally, I'm pretty sure, like half owned by Bandai. And when you watch Blazar or Arc and you see like how they transform and whatnot, it's like so clear. The only reason a certain item exists within the Ultraman show is to sell a toy. Ultraman Arc's transformation thing is a literal Rubik's Cube. I'm being dead. He puts a cube into this bigger cube and then Rubik's Cubes it, and then he turns to Ultraman Arc.
Guys, I swear, Evolved Godzilla was not to sell toys, I swear.
No.
Get $200 Spyro Studios at the link in the description. I swear it was not to sell a toy.
No.
I swear. I swear, guys, it was for the plot. He needed to be pink.
And I love how Playmates has released like a 6-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, 20-inch. Like, they're releasing all their toys and
RC
them larger. RC, yeah,
RC is cool though. The RC is cool because the atomic breath thing. But
I freaking love it. That should have been figure of the year.
Yeah.
I scared the shit out of my baby and my cat with it.
Yeah, let me read some of the chat. Let's see. Iron Dragon thought they had the sauce. He did, bro. Iron Dragon should have murdered male Muto in
That's
his
crazy.
honey badger mentality.
I don't think that would have happened.
No.
What? You think male Muto beats Ion?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No way.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
because he gave him way much of a better fight.
Well, yeah, keep in mind that is a weakened as shit Godzilla who just woke up from a 10,000 year nap.
Yeah, but I could never see the Iron Dragon getting through the male Muto's exoskeleton. Has so much durability.
But he got stabbed through by a building.
Yeah, but the amount of force would have killed Iron Dragon as well. That tail whip.
Motherfucker got thrown into.
Yeah, he would have destroyed him. He was what, half the size of the male Muto?
I have done a short on this, and my buddy did a full length video on this. Every single poll ever always says Ion Dragon. You're the two Muto fans in this.
No,
now seeing Muto, that's a different story. That is a different story.
Mark is the guy, bro. Manila Mark is the guy.
But yeah, no, Ion Dragon. He fought a way stronger Godzilla, a heavier Godzilla. He, also dragged him around. If they got interlocked and they clashed into each other, Ion Dragon would immediately overwhelm Muto. And also, he just has more weaponry. The male Muto at best has his EMP and he has to charge it up and slam it. Ion just would shoot his barf at him.
Yeah, there you go. The barf attack, that'll get
And male would just be, he wouldn't be hurt. He'd just be like, oh my God, what is this? What did you do to me?
He'd be more confused than anything.
Yeah, and then they'll give the chance for Ion to just go in, just and just chop him up.
All right. What a movie.
We got way off subject, but it
was
an awesome subject.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to cap this off with some Jurassic World Park?
Sure,
oh yeah.
All right, let's have some fun with this.
I'd love to.
First, come on, chat. Shame Goji guy over here never seen Jurassic Park 2 and 3. Come on.
My bad. I'll hop on that eventually.
Fake fan. Fake fan.
You can skip 2. Go to straight to 3.
No, you fucker. There's no way you're saying 2 is the worst one. I will die on the hill, and I think a lot of people agree with me. Dominion's the worst. No way it isn't. No way.
All right, I'm not going to say no. I'm just talking out of parks. The 3 parks. Forget World. 2 is the worst.
It's crazy that you think Rexy beats Disney Carno. Okay, so I had a video on Rexy versus Disney's Carnotaurus from Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And everybody has the mentality that larger equals stronger. I have a doc called Dino Feats for whenever I do a video on Rudy or the Disney Carnotaurus. Let me pull it up right here. I'm going to cover every single feat the Disney Carnotaurus has. And also in that video, I was kind to the Carnotaurus because I only used film stuff. I didn't use any games or novel stuff. This is all he has. He briefly lifts a Pachyrhinosaurus. He lifts and drags an iguanodon. He's able to sneak up on its prey like any good predator. So, you're not getting a high five for that. That's a participation award right there. He hears a tiny roar in a cave. He's able to pull Aladar, another iguanodon. He's able to catch up to Aladar. And the small Carnotaurus survives the cave collapse and is able to jump. That is all he has. That is legitimately the only feat he has. And people are like, no, the Rexy Glaze is insane. It's like Rexy was throwing hands with Indom, with the Giga. She's throwing hands with some of the top dogs.
Do they know T-Rexes have a bite force that crush bones? The only carnivore that does?
The Carnotaur isn't as little as you think. The Carnotaur is much larger in this film than Rexy. She's taller. And
I think but the bite force.
But yeah, but still, no, because everybody just thinks,
Rexy gets a hold of it. He's snapping bones instantly.
Yeah, this is the same T-Rex you're saying did 1 million bites to the Giganotosaurus, and the Giganotosaurus had no visible wounds on it after the fight.
Because the Giga's
that was a amped up fucking Giga too. So
yeah. Me too, bro. Dominion in that theater. I was so ready for that fight, and I was just sitting there after it was over, yay. You're never gonna say that Dominion is not the worst one. It had the biggest budget, the biggest amount of people working on it, and the biggest how all the stories were gonna conclude with it. What happened in the movie? Nothing happened. It started and ended.
Bugs happened.
I swear
there
to God,
bugs everywhere.
The only reason this movie happened is so that Ellie and Alan could get back together. That's the only reason that movie happened.
Goji guy, I got a request for you, bud.
Oh yeah, from Siphon, I see.
You need to do the Rexy versus Sue. I want to see that. Seriously, I really would like to see
Goody
it.
Center, that video, I was legit I was watching it and I was just left speechless when I watched that video.
Oh, somebody already did it?
Oh, yeah,
Goody
good
Center, yes. They said Sue pretty much with no difficulty defeats Rexy.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
reason-
I believe that. I believe it.
I gotta disagree, because here's the thing. If we're going off it was a really weird video because their logic just didn't make sense in a lot of it. They're like, oh, Rexy is faster, but because she's faster, that must mean she's less agile because her hips must suck. Like, their logic for that video was all over the place. I'm good friends with Goody Center, so like I'm gonna dog on Joe here for a sec.
Oh, is it on Goji
I
Center?
was legit, my jaw was on the floor. When it came to agility, they brought up the Giganotosaurus, and in the IRL, because the entire time they're comparing a fictional dinosaur to a real one. The real life T-Rex is much more agile than the real life Giganotosaurus. And then they say, and look at Rexy versus the Giga, and the Giga is more agile. It's like you just said the real one is less, and since Rexy is less agile than the fake one, that must mean Rexy is less agile. That makes no sense. It's when he started getting stuff like Camp Cretaceous. Firstly, with Rexy stuff, it's a fictional dinosaur, so it's gonna have a lot of more just weird stuff. You can always estimate, like, she might weigh more, she might have a stronger bite, but Rexy's
definitely has the strongest bite.
Rexy's going against
a stronger bite than a real Giga.
Rexy's going against the Indominus Rex, who in Camp Cretaceous literally breaks, like snaps in half, giant metal I-beams. And I don't know if you know what an I-beam is off the top of your head, but like those are used for like building like giant buildings. Burj Khalifa, like the Empire State Building, like, and she literally ripping them in half. And she also brings a Brachiosaurus to the ground. Like, she physically pulls a Brachie to the ground, 60 tons. And then you get to their fight in Jurassic World. Rexy is old. She's not being, she's not old in the sense of like she's like, decrepit, but she's not in a good containment. People that argue she is, look at Camp Cretaceous. The literal instant she breaks out, she revamps her entire where she lives. She revamps the entire thing.
She makes a nest and stuff. Like,
she hasn't fought in like 30 years or whatever. I don't know how long it is in the universe. She hasn't fought in like 30 years, is malnourished, is skinny, and presumably probably tired. She's probably woken up in the middle of the fucking night, and still is throwing hands with Indom, who has been doing all that shit the entire day, breaking through metal, bringing a Brachiosaurus to the ground, breaking through concrete walls like the Spino, and a weakened, tired Rexy is like, fine, and it's like on par and literally wins the clash initially against the Indom. And so it's like when you have Rexy beating and competing on par with it being like that when she's tired, a full energized, fully well rested, and like eating well and fighting well Rexy would demolish Sue. She's throwing her ass into the stratosphere.
Thank you for
a
talking about
dinosaur versus
a
real dinosaur. It's like, as much as I love Sue, she's not winning. And it's not too much. It's I don't know if I can say it because it is still like I'll tell you guys later privately because it's still like being researched and they're gonna publish their thing on soon. But I have a friend who has people who are currently actively studying Sue. All I'll say is that the main theory that she died to disease, they have proof isn't right, and she died of something else. But
yeah, I think I heard that story too because they found the holes into Sue's skull.
Okay, maybe this is a public thing. Yeah, they have found more evidence saying she died from fighting another T-Rex. So if she's
because that's what they do. They clamp each other's nose,
Like infection did also lead to her death, like later. But like the main catalyst that was the reason she like just died was due to a fight, and she lost.
Sue's not even the top tier T-Rex.
No, there's a new one, Goliath. There's a new one.
Yeah, is that what the name of that new one was? Goliath.
The new one, yeah. It's one of its legs is one of the bones of its legs like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, but can we really tell?
We don't know yet. We don't know for sure if that's
exactly tell how big it is because of its thigh, because of how much it is.
There are theories just going around. It's still relatively new. I would really recommend Vividen. He makes really good dinosaur content.
That's
exactly
what I was basing what I was saying off of.
Yeah, me and Vividen talking on Discord here and there. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. It was found very, very recently. And if they're still researching it, and if they can find anything else, but yeah, like it takes the Cryosaurus of large T-Rex by quite a noticeable amount, like by a couple inches, I think even. Like it's crazy. He is just huge. And if Rexy is losing to other dinosaurs, and not Rexy, Sue, you get a fictional Rexy who is in a weakened state on par with the Endom, who is literally tearing through metal.
Yeah,
bringing
Endo. I got
tons
the
to the ground
Endo,
like it's
yeah.
nothing. It
Yeah,
doesn't
for sure.
matter if she has a stronger bite. One good, ram from Rexy is going to put Sue on the ground immediately.
I think
And
this
the
fight,
claws too.
yeah, I think this fight between Rexy and Sue just all comes down to you're comparing, and it's like comparing an anime character to like a live action character. Like,
Yeah.
You're never gonna get that with what it's seen. It's two different things.
Because the writers are going to build up Rexy over Sue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Sue's a real thing where she doesn't have all of her, I don't want to say like feats, but like, yeah, all of what we've seen of her seen from a writer saying like, oh yeah, we're going to make the Rex come back up and like bloodlusted back up and throw the gig into the Therizinosaurus. It's like,
yeah, it's a whole thing.
That one, can I also mention though, real quick, I found it so funny in the theater watching Dominion. Rexy looked deadlocked, like flatlined on the piece of like what
The
like,
slab, yeah.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah, the slab. She
Whatever
looked
it was, yeah.
so dead. She was not knocked out. She was dead, bro. There's no way you're looking at that like limp Rex body and saying, nah, she's gonna come back in a few seconds. She's dead.
Yeah, she was donezo. She was donezo.
Nah, the writers came back. They're like, nah, we gotta have this. The whole thing of Colin calling the Giganotosaurus the villain of the Jurassic franchise is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah. That's where like I always hear people like say like Giga versus Endom, and it's a really hard question to answer because like by all means you should think Endom because like she's such a much more skilled fighter, but at the same time it's like I mean she was getting rocked by like a tired ass Rexy, and Giga like big Rexy one, she's like yep, nope, that's all you, that's your dear, don't even, I'm back. I'm out.
And Endo just wants to kill.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
so
on the
it's really
Giga
hard.
side of the
It's
Giga
like-
winning, but it's also people. I've heard some arguments saying that the Indominus Rex was tired because she was doing all that shit all day, whereas Rexy, even though she's weakened,
that's a bullshit excuse because Camp Cretaceous came out way after. So like for
No,
years they're like
no. I even mean throughout the movie. The movie happens in one day. She breaks out of the cage in the early morning, or like
and she does go on that big rampage.
And throughout that entire movie, she does all that in like the span of a few hours. And I know that's cherry picking, but that's still okay. I still think the Giga would win. No, but I'm just giving other arguments because the Giga is so massive. I know the Indominus looks massive from how it looks like in the street view, but the Giganotosaurus is literally a kaiju. Like
pretty much.
Yes.
Ginormous. It's ginormous. It's like plus.
It's nothing like that in real life.
No, it's.
Anyways, cringy moments.
We talking about Rebirth.
Cringy moments in Jurassic. Let me think.
We supposed to be talking about Rebirth.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
by hour 3 we'll be there.
No, Gfan, you got beef for me saying that Jurassic Park 2 is worse than Jurassic Park 3. There's no way.
Yes. I'm a big Spinal fan. Maybe that plays a part, and it hits all the right feels, right? You got the Spino, you got the Raptors, you got the call of the Raptors, you got the pterosaurs, you got the compies.
I'll give you that Jurassic Park 3 has the better designs, but I feel like Jurassic Park 2 has the better set pieces along with the storytelling. Because Jurassic Park 3 has no story.
See, I feel that same way with 2. Like, I don't give a shit about your daughter doing Olympics, swinging around the fucking thing. Yeah, I don't give a shit about you, Goldman. I don't give a shit about your little girl expedition that you're trying to go save for Hammond. Like, come on. Like it's just, and then you go to LA, stop. Or San Diego, stop it.
Yeah, but there's no way you didn't watch 2 and say that's awesome seeing a T-Rex run through where was it?
Oh, yeah. They had some cool scenes with the dog, the leash hanging out with the dog house.
It's so sad, bro. I can't watch dogs die. That's crazy.
I'm not saying it didn't have cool scenes, but on comparing it, it's not beating 1 for sure.
No.
And to me,
one is always going to be on top.
And like I said, 3 cemented, the Spino killing that Rex.
Yeah, I get it because I did watch Jurassic Park 3 again lately, and I was really surprised on how fast-paced it was. But I think it all comes down to I'm attached way more. I'm attached. I prefer Jurassic Park 2's characters way more than Jurassic Park 3. And while watching Jurassic Park 3, I get way better sense of a story, even though you disagree that it's worse than Jurassic Park 3's. We need to go find Eric, and then we're just stuck again. Whereas Jurassic Park 3, yeah, or Jurassic Park 2, yeah, it's just. I think what I'm trying to say is Jurassic Park 2 has a lot more lows than Jurassic Park 3 does. Like, there's a couple of scenes in Jurassic Park 2 that are just really cringy and weird. But, like, I feel like overall it's, yeah, I'd say, yeah, maybe they're, like, equal for me. Maybe. Maybe you have some good points. I will agree. But I still think that
you got to think, when he stole the raptor eggs, right?
Yeah.
Paleontologists, they don't make a whole lot. If you don't get picked up, your dig site's shut down. It's over. You know, he's trying to do it to keep them afloat.
I've seen that argument of people hating Jurassic Park 3 because they think Billy's stupid for stealing the eggs.
No.
I feel like that's reasonable. Like, obviously,
yes, a lot of he's trying to keep his dig site alive. I
feel like Alan had a way overreaction to him. Like, you're worse than the people who built this place. Like, yeah, because he's
that was a way. Yeah, that was a way overreaction.
That was a weird. Also, like the scene afterwards where they're on the boat when Eric was saying like, "Oh yeah, Billy was right for like wanting." Because remember they made the comparison to like, what is it, like poets and astronauts like wanting to study the stuff from afar and see the stuff up close, but you can't be in space. And then they were like, Billy was right. I didn't get that part, but yeah, no. The whole set piece where Spinosaurus destroys the plane to the whole end, action packed, and it's amazing. But they should have had more kills, man. They should have introduced more characters to kill. No, Billy surviving though. That I hate that.
that was crazy. I that's one part. All right, I didn't like. He should have been toast.
That whole like I don't think he needed a redemption because of stealing the eggs. But the whole scene of him like saving Eric and telling them to leave while the pterodons pick him apart. Well, that was golden until we see his ass bandaged up on a helicopter when they just got there. Like,
yeah, that to me, all right, that was probably the weakest part of the movie. Yeah. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, here's another comparison. What do you think of Jurassic World compared to Fallen Kingdom? This is always the hot take.
World the Fallen.
Because Jurassic World is one of the movies that like it came out and it was such a big thing, but it has a lot of flaws when it comes to CGI and characters. Fallen Kingdom, I think, is too silly and does a lot of stuff, but I feel like overall watching Fallen Kingdom, I get a lot more than I get from watching Jurassic World.
See, I would probably put World above it just because it brought the franchise back, you know?
I get that. I completely
Bryce Dallas Howard is hot, so I like the movie.
Yes, that too. Yes, she is hot.
Aren't you married?
I mean,
don't say it out loud, Ryan. What are you trying to do this, man? He's gonna have to swallow that chair right there.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna see her. Yeah, right.
Anyways.
But yeah, off of movies that already came out, what do we think of Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth? What do you guys think?
Excited. I think it looks interesting. It is a bit annoying. It's like, oh, there's another island, but there's actually another island. But stick with me here. There's another. You know, it's a bit annoying. But other than that, I'm excited. I think the D-Rex looks cool. I think the Spinos look awesome. The Mosa's cool. The
what about that Megalodon?
What?
Huh?
Yeah. If you look at that when they're in the water. I only watched the trailer once. There's that Spino, the Megalodon, and the Mosasaurus.
You mean like the teeth? The Megalodon teeth are up?
No. If you see it swimming when they're all swimming, it's
that sail. Man, that sail is the Mosasaurus's tail. That's not a shark. That's the Mosasaurus's tail.
Yeah, Moses is really long.
I think we're talking about two different things.
We'll have to talk about it afterwards.
We'll have to check that out.
But yeah, I think the design.
Has anyone in the chat seen the Megalodon? Not the teeth, but the Megalodon swimming and the thing. Let us know. Maybe me and D actually just blind and dumb.
We might be.
Either that or Gfans losing it. After
I'm probably blind and dumb there.
The years of being a Godzilla fans catching up.
Gfans losing it after watching Jurassic.
It has a toll on one's body.
Time today, he's losing it. After that scene where they dig in the Spinosaurus poop, elbow deeps in, and the Ceratosaurus scene comes out, he's starting to see stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
No, but I think the movie looks good. I am a huge hater for Dominion. and I will stand on that until I die. But I think it's hard to get excited for Rebirth after seeing Dominion. And it's also because the trailer, like Ryan, you said about another island, another lab. But the thing is that I'm trying my best to trust in Gareth Edwards because I love Rogue One. I love Godzilla 2014. I've never seen the creator, but I've heard it's really good. I want to trust him. I really do. But like, I know how these things work with the Jurassic franchise. I know how these things work. So
I'm trusting Gareth.
Yeah,
I'm trusting with my newborn. G14.
I want to see some of
my
those.
first film. Rogue One.
I want to see some of the
film.
more dangerous dinos on there.
Yeah. I
want to see the Oxalaya. It is the cooler Spinosaurus from South America. Look them up. They're awesome. Their design, mwah.
Gfan,
is awesome.
You're a Spinosaurus lover. What do you think of the new Spinosaurus design?
Uh-oh. Is that going to be, I'm going to, like, jump off a cliff?
I have no problem with it. I mean,
okay.
It's all imaginary. We it's nothing like real life, so...
A lot of people are like super offended over the new. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like I know they grow up.
We want realism. Gets realism. This shit sucks. Like it's. I get it. It looks semi like
some people you just can't please.
I've seen better reception of Evolved Godzilla than the new Spinosaurus. That's the crazy part. Like I don't even like Evolved Godzilla, but like I've seen better reception.
I was a day one hater of Evolved when that trailer came out. Me and FDA were reacting to it, and we were like, "This shit looks horrible." And we literally, I have never gotten so much hate on a video ever, not in any of my verse stuff ever. And everyone's like, "You're glazing the hate." It's like, did you see the people that said it was good? They were glazing the good side of it. They're like, "This, I think Jesus Christ himself wrote the script. This looks phenomenal." It's like I was hating it just as much as people were like saying it was great. I'm a day one Evolved hater, and will continue to be so. What am I looking at here?
Spinosaurus tooth.
Very cool.
That's how much I like.
I'm cool. I'm cool with little stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of like super private collectors though. Like when like they get their own animal, that kind of makes me mad. Like they don't let it go to science first.
I got a fossil of a Tyrannosaurus.
That's nice.
Right there, the indent is the little ankle bone.
I got a lizard.
You do.
I got two lizards.
My lizard is named Nezu, and she's a crested gecko, and she has the IQ of a fart in a hurricane.
I got my little brother.
Scorch and Jaggy.
Like lizards. So does he?
Bearded dragons.
So Gfan, what do you think of the D-Rex? I haven't heard you from.
I like the D-Rex.
I'm sorry. Say that one. I was wrapping something up. Say it one more time.
What do you think of the new mutant dinosaur? They're calling it the D-Rex. At least that's what.
Yeah, I'm not. They're going a little too crazy with that stuff. You had the hybrids. You had the what was the other one? Oh man,
Indoraptor, Scorpius Rex.
Yeah,
but they were called something else because you had the hybrid. They called it hybrids, and they called it something else if I remember right. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but
the D-Rex mutants.
It's. I don't know yet. The movie's not out. I don't want to judge it yet, just off a trailer.
A lot of
looks
people
cool.
are.
I think it looks cool. It looks interesting. Like it's.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool.
I'm always gonna enjoy, regardless of how like silly it is. Like GXK, I'm always gonna be it's like shit. I get to watch fictional dinosaur kaiju fight. Take my money. I'll judge it for what it is like with context later. But as far as design go, I think it looks cool. It's really out of there. It's really interesting. And from a lore, at least they have makes more sense. And like the Indoraptor's like, yeah, we're gonna sell a weapon. This one's like it kind of makes sense because there was for sure would have had mess ups when making Rexy and the other dinosaurs for Jurassic Park. So it makes sense there to at least be something like that exists. Would it be that outlandish?
That makes sense.
It's weird having like a separate pair of small arms. But like it would make sense there would be a mutant somewhere out there, because I mean all these dinosaurs in their own way are hybrids because they're using DNA of dinosaurs plus frog at the minimum.
Yeah.
So they
and that's the same thing with like real life. They're trying to clone. What is it? A mammoth and
they made the mammoth meatball and didn't let anyone eat it because they're like, oh, it's gonna have diseases that we might not know of. I want to eat it. I'll put my life in the line. I want to taste what a mammoth tastes like.
But I mean, they're gonna make hybrids out of stuff because you're never gonna get the full DNA of something that's extinct.
I think people just wanted to go back to Jurassic Park, the villains, because even though the Giganotosaurus was a dinosaur, not a hybrid, even though it looked like freaking Godzilla, all the Jurassic World villains, including Camp Cretaceous, besides like Toro, were all hybrids. And that's because in Jurassic World, they wanted to pull, like, I don't know if you ever guys seen Predators, the 2011 movie. They wanted to make the old guys look good compared to the new guys because they wanted Rexy and Blue, the real dinosaurs, to beat the Indominus. In Fallen Kingdom, I don't really know what their point was. I thought it was cool. The Indoraptor theme was the hardest theme I've ever heard of a dinosaur ever. But then in Dominion, it's like you go crazier with the designs to make it like the villain. But like people are missing the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus being the villain. And the thing is like at this point in the franchise, we're doing what Godzilla is doing. We're making Rexy a heroic character. We're making Blue a heroic character. We can't go back to a dinosaur being a bad guy because we want to see it be the good guy. Because kids. It's because of kids. But
Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Merchandise.
Yeah.
Merchandise.
Exactly. Everybody wanted a Blue figure because they thought Blue was cute. I couldn't care less if he killed the Indoraptor or not. I want a Blue figure either way. I want an Indoraptor figure. I don't care what she does. I don't care if the Spinosaurus is in the movie for only the ocean scene. I want it. But I don't need it to fight the D-Rex at the end and become the heroic villain. That would be cool, but I don't need that.
That's why we got the humans.
I'm perfectly fine with the humans killing the D-Rex because we have not, in the Jurassic World franchise, we have not had a villain dinosaur die or be defeated by a human. Indominus Rex got double teamed and then Mosasaurus killed him. Indoraptor got killed by Blue. Scorpius Rex got attacked by Blue and they were like friendly firing each other until the original building collapsed. Giganotosaurus. The Therizinosaurus appeared out of thin fucking air and then just stood there like this.
Also, all the fights, when the dinosaurs get defeated, they're left intact. And Indominus got drowned. What is it? Indoraptor got impaled. Same with Giga. I want to see like an accurate, like what it looks like. Like look at a lion, right? A lion doesn't go up to something that's hunting, just snaps its neck. No, it rips its skin off. It rips its face off. Like I saw a video the other day of an alligator literally breaking the front bone of a zebra's face and ripping it off. Yeah. I want to see a rated R film where the dinosaurs are just brutal. I want to see arms taken. I want to see large areas of like skin and muscle just ripped right off, like fresh off the bone.
You guys want to know what's
something
funny?
Where it's like it feels like they're dangerous, you know? Everybody's seeing this, and it's like, oh, look at it's so cute, right? Like if you or me go up to a pack of like lions or like a tiger, and it's not gonna be like, oh yes, pet me. It's going to kill you.
And if you see if dinosaurs were real life and you seen them outside, you would shit your pants. You wouldn't even go outside. You would find a route that went around that thing until you ran into another one and you died of a heart attack.
Yeah, it's just like I want to see brutal. I want to see brutal kills of dinosaurs, and it's like we've seen it before. We've seen we see the humans get dismembered. We see them get chopped up. Then even then, it's just like oh well, their arm got chopped off. That's it. There's no like gore. Now I'm not saying I went over the top gore. I hate films that only rely on gore to get their wow factor.
But dinosaurs,
I want a movie where it actually shows how vicious they were. These were the top predators for millions of years. They were dinosaur fossils when dinosaurs were still around. They were around that long. It's like I want to see actual brutal kills. I want to see a Stegosaurus have its tail impale another dinosaur in the eye and like move it around and like discombobulate its brain. I want to see a T-Rex bite and like twist and like pull like the spine out of a raptor. Think like when Godzilla killed the murderfish janitor in the Dominion comic. Like I want to see brutal dinosaur fights. It's like no, he go bonk. Oh, he's dead. No, boo-hoo.
The funny part is that the Jurassic World franchise is so convoluted that they will give Rexy more scars from a velociraptor from a 2-second struggle in the first movie than have her have scars from any other fight in the franchise. Yeah. That is how convoluted they are. The raptor was on Rexy for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and she still has scars in Jurassic World. And the Indominus Rex packed her up, and there was wounds, but you could barely see him. In the next movie, she was fine. Yeah. Giganotosaurus, like Ryan just said, the entire fight between Rexy and Giga could have been the bloodiest and the most brutal. They bit each other like 1,000,000 times, no damage. Ever.
Yeah.
Rexy had the little bite on her snout from the little scuffle that Giga did to take the deer. Then she took more damage in the final battle. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
The Therizinosaurus scratched the shit out of the Giga's leg inside, and either it was dark or there was no damage at all. Like, it was dark, so I couldn't see anything, but I doubt there was even any damage. Ugh.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's, it is how it is.
I hope people get bitten in half in this new movie. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah. Like, I know good shit. They made a video. It's like the bite force of a T-Rex, if it were to bite a Velociraptor, like a real one, the Velociraptor would pop. It would bite that hard before its mouth is even fully closed. Whatever is still outside the mouth would literally pop open. Like, there needs to be gore in the Jurassic World universe, and that's why a lot of people like Primal. I haven't watched that show yet, but I know that's why a lot of people like Primal, because like they show the gore of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that show's too overly. There's a point for me when it comes to TV shows, especially in animation, that it's just too over the top for me to enjoy. I get people enjoying it, but like some of the kills are just. It can be mean spirited once in a while, but I feel like every kill is mean spirited, and I just don't.
Yeah.
I get no enjoyment out of watching that much gore. It's just it's not even desensitized at this point. It's like, oh, this guy explodes, this guy explodes, this guy gets his head bitten. It's cool the first 3 times because we haven't seen it in a while, but it's like, yes, I want to see every single character have the most brutal death every episode.
Yeah.
But that's just me personally. I don't mean to like go on a rant about me personally, but like that's also why I can't get into most shows like a hot thing like Invincible or like.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
No, I did like the first season, but like a lot of the
Yeah, I was gonna say the most recent. I'll keep it quick because we're not talking about Invincible here. Like, the most recent episode is a filler episode, and this is one character, Multi-Paul, who like duplicates himself, and to break out of his cell, he doesn't have any ingenious idea. No, he duplicates himself to the point where they start to flood the inside. Like himself is like flooding and dying inside the cell until the sheer pressure of the amount of blood inside of it bursts the door open. It's like, you're a super. You can have an idea or something. You can have made 30 of you and just punch the door at once. I'm gonna explode myself until the door pops off.
Too over the top.
That's just side rant, but
too over the top, man. You can lay it back once in a while. I get it, Omni-Man doing all that shit, but like you can lay it back. Every episode, I don't need to see guys getting chopped in half and exploding.
Yeah.
But
I feel like we've covered like 3 cringe things in films this entire stream so far.
Yeah, we have not mentioned cringe things yet, but I have liked all of our discussions though. They have been.
Oh yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean,
you just have to rename the episodes. Even it's like talking random dinosaur and kaiju shit for
random shit. That's what I'm gonna put. You put a couple of shit emojis.
Just rants. That's exactly what you need. Just rants the episode.
And that sounds like an awesome time to stop it there.
But yeah, hour and 50 minutes exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, this was fun.
This is a lot of fun.
It was real fun.
Glad our times lined up so we could all do it together.
Yeah.
After a 7-hour shift, all I want to talk about is Godzilla and Jurassic World.
Hey, I'll leave you with this one last Jurassic Park fact. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. You know the Jurassic Park World / World. I always call it Park before World. The logo is actual dinosaur that's up in a museum in New York. I'm going to see it this May.
Really? I didn't
know.
Yes.
I don't know his name on top of my head, but yeah.
I don't know neither, but I can't wait to go see it.
Oh yeah.
So, Goji Guy, where can we find you again, bud?
YouTube, Goji Guy, GOJIGUY. Most recent
you got
upload
anything coming up?
Been writing a script. Hopefully, it's come out this weekend on speaking on dinosaurs, can the Skinwalker, the cryptid, can it survive the different eras of the Mesozoic? So taking dinosaurs from the Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, and even a special spin. We're going to see if it can survive the extinction events while it's at it. So that should be the next upcoming video on if the Skinwalker can survive fights against dinosaurs and whatnot from the.
I want to see a Skinwalker Dilophosaurus. This is your chance.
That's the one rule. I can't have it taken because then that'd just be unfair.
No!
An Argentinosaurus running at 50 miles an hour is a little
no, you can keep it small and skinny. Just give me a scary Dilophosaurus.
I'll see what it looks like. I think he'll be happy with his design. But
probably, yeah. No, your artists do a great job.
Let me grab him. And while I grab this, DX, where can we find you?
Oh, yes. I'm from Calling Out Kaiju. Me and Justin run the Instagram at Calling Out Kaiju on Instagram. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple, basically every service. You can find
You
us.
guys got to get me back on there. Been
Yes.
waiting for a new invitation.
Oh, yeah. You already know it. And then on YouTube, we have Calling Out Kaiju. Like I said, I had some DX's Godzilla reviews. Shooting up a Godzilla 2014. I actually, guys, in the chat, the first link was my YouTube channel. My first video, I did a ranking of all the Hiya Toys figures that have been released so far of Godzilla, ranked from worst to best. Like 20,000 views automatically. I'm like, that's crazy.
Damn.
No,
Wait,
but
what's your video? What's the name of it?
go to private chat on the side of our duck stream thing. It's the first one right above where I talk about his imposter Godzilla. But no, I had a blast making that episode, and I'm editing right now, right as we speak. Before I joined, I was editing the 2014 and Muto Haya video. But I have fun with these videos, but I'm just ready to start our podcast on the YouTube, honestly, and start that new fights, that Pacific Rim series. I'm gonna get that artist to do.
Yeah,
for me. Can't wait for that to be part.
Gfan 84. Where can we find you?
Where can we find the man?
The guy
You
who's
can
streaming
find
now.
me. Yeah, Gfan84. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Subscribe, I appreciate it. We got to fight the algorithm.
Oh yeah.
We got some awesome resin kits coming up. I got the awesome and talented the man Mark Sing Yang. He's going to be doing my 1992 Kyoto Godzilla, my
Sweet.
Galloping Ghost Little Godzilla, my 1972 Anguillus Monster Maker 28, and my Megalodon Resin Chefs. And
Awesome.
Burley Bang is going to be doing my 1972 Godzilla. So a bunch of resins coming down the works. They are fantastic pieces. Check them out.
Sounds good. All righty.
Thumbs up.
Also, Gfan, where can I find your barber to give me that sexy ass bald head like you got, bro? I gotta join you.
Just for me.
Don't do that to me, bro. I'm on camera.
He's gatekeeping it.
All right, guys. This has been a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Gfan84. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful night. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.